Welcome back to the Brew Crew Podcast, everyone. This is episode 261. I think I got that number right. We'll check with Matt. We'll check in with Matt to see if that number is right. I'm putting a full stamp. I'm putting the stamp of a full episode on this episode because people want content. Matt and I have had some trouble getting together lately. It's just been a busy holiday schedule. A lot of shit going on. A lot of personal stuff, professional stuff. Just life takes over. But we're going to put out an episode because people want it, and we appreciate people wanting these episodes. So here I am, 261. A lot of weeks, 261 weeks. That's probably been across, 270 weeks. I don't know how many we've missed, but boy, lots and lots of time there. Holidays are over now. I took the nice green thing off the bar here. Got a gift from Chuggalos Phil. Got 2 Snifters with founders on them. So that's cool. And we're going to review a sour. So perfect timing, Chuggalos Phil. Thank you very much. And thank you for everyone who participated. I haven't had the chance to watch Matt's episode, so I'm sure he said it. But to everyone who participated in the Advent calendar, awesome time. We gained like 10 followers, 10 subscribers on YouTube. We put out tons and tons of content. We have like well over 1,000 plays in the last 30 days just on YouTube. That's just YouTube. That doesn't include the Spotify plays. So thank you very much to everyone who participated in the Advent Calendar. For all the new subscribers, welcome to the show. For all the people who've been subscribers forever, obviously thank you the most. You've been following us and you've stuck with us the longest. But that, new people who've been around, it's all good. Thank you. The Advent calendar, I would say, based on those numbers, was a huge success. There's ups and downs in beer, and that is the case when you're just a person going out drinking on your own. You go to a brewery, you go to a bar, you try a beer. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. This is where the conflict between Matt and I on flights takes place, and I think really everyone and Matt. It's like everyone versus Matt on this, and sometimes it's good to be Goliath, sometimes it's good to be David. And in this case, Matt is David, and I don't think it's a good thing. I think Goliath will crush him, because really, if you kind of break down the Advent calendar into its very essence, what is the Advent calendar? It's a 24 beer flight. That's all it is. It's just a flight of 24 beers, and yes, they might be full beers, but so be it. We bought 24 of them. By Matt's logic. Not to pick on Matt right away early in this episode. By Matt's logic, you can't get a 4-ounce pour. You can't get a 6-ounce pour. You got to get a full pour, pint. Well, if that's the case, then when you're buying beers that are closed, beers that have yet to be opened, you can't buy one. You have to buy the 4-pack or the 6-pack. And in that case, you can't just buy the 6-pack. You got to buy the 24. You got to buy a full case. And really, by that matter, you got to buy the whole tank. You got to buy all the beer that was brewed, because you got to commit. You got to commit to the beer. You don't want just one beer. I don't want a 4-ounce pour. See, like the logic can get taken way out of control. Whereas if you're just open to trying beer, you can buy as little as a sip for that matter. It won't matter. You try, as long as you're out to try new beers and give brewers their due, whether that be financial, monetary dues by buying the beer, or that's accolades. Maybe they're deserving of accolades, and you provide that. Either way, you're providing a service to the brewer, and that's really all that matters. I know that in the end, we like to have this bickering about the flight thing, but really, I think Matt agrees. It's really about the brewer and the beer providers giving us something to talk about, something to enjoy, something to kind of just bring us together. And that's really where the brewers, not the Milwaukee Brewers, but the breweries and the brew masters and their staff, that's where they succeed, even if they fail at making a delicious beer, which happened during the Advent calendar. We had some beer we didn't like. They still succeeded in providing substance, right? Some sort of tangible item. But that also applies to, like I said, the beer provider. So Barrel House, boom, bringing it all back to the Advent calendar. Barrel House did an amazing job. I know that there was part of the conversation, as it should be, I think, is about the totality of the advent calendar and whether or not the beer was high quality. And I think Matt and I are going to reserve some of this conversation for when we're together. And we're going to talk about the highs and the lows of the advent calendar. We'll talk about some of the 2023 highs and lows. But I'll say at least just Barrel House provided us with talking points. They didn't literally give us talking points. They provided us with material in beer, and we translated that into talking points. And that's all that really we wanted. That's what we asked for. We didn't ask them to give us 24 of the best beers they've ever had in the history of Barrel House. We want good content. We want to bring good content, and I think that we succeeded in that. So anyway, moving on. Let's get into the beer. Today I'm drinking Nowhere in Particular Mix Me a Hike Sour Ale brewed with strawberries and starfruit. I've had a few beers from Nowhere in Particular with strawberry. And as Matt will tell you, I have problems logging my beer. Not technical problems, just literally I'm the problem. And sometimes that happens. I was really motivated to do it early on, and I just haven't been lately. So I know that I've had a few strawberry beers from Nowhere in Particular, but I really am sure I did not have this beer. But I did want to check, and there was obviously no way to do that. So 3, 2, 1. Crack this open. Nowhere in Particular is still making some of their kind of hobo brewing style of beers where they just release a can, or not a can, a 6-pack of 12-ounce cans versus the 4-packs of the pint cans, which they usually sell in the brewery. If you go down to the Cabinet of Curiosity, which I highly recommend. The Cabinet of Curiosity is that. It is curious. They also have a karaoke night, which is amazing. I think that the crowd there, I did some karaoke. Caterade and I did some karaoke with Randy Orton and some fellow neighbors. And it was amazing, but everyone was our age. I think when you go to karaoke night, you got to be a little younger at Nowhere in Particular. You don't have to be. You can certainly be older. And there were some people my age and older. But it just, I think the comfort level is better for people who are in their 20s versus in their 30s or 40s. So this is a Strawberry and Starfruit beer. We're going to see how this baby tastes. It's in my Snifter. I'm sniffing it. Smells like beer. Obviously, this is a beer podcast, so I will be better about describing the beer. Okay, one thing is for certain. We have been consistently disappointed in sours for a while. And I don't think it's disappointed in sours. It's disappointed in the sourness of sours. So one thing I will say is that we always rate, as I've mentioned, we always rate the 450 North beers differently than all the others. Those are sours, technically. They're smoothie sours. And we're not drinking them for the sour. We're drinking them for the smoothie. We're drinking them for the fruit, the mixture, there's a lot of marshmallow or vanilla or lactose that really complements the flavors that they put in there. And sometimes cinnamon, sometimes just like insane flavors that make all of their beers exceptional. But one thing you will never hear us say is like, wow, this hits the sour mark. I had forgotten just how phenomenal sour beers can be. Branch and Bone has a few that really do register. But for the most part, every time I go there now, it's like IPA crazy. And they did take a couple spots over for seltzers. So it hasn't been as much. But man, you go to Nowhere in Particular and they nail it every time. This is a sour beer. I have to say, this is a sour beer. This hits you in the cheeks exactly where you want this beer to hit you. This beer actually gives me joy. Wow. It's been so long. I was actually kind of been like a little down on like trying all these beers lately. It's just been like beer after beer after beer after beer during the Advent calendar. And this happens every year. We kind of just get like oversaturated with beer. But part of me was like, I'm going to go drink another beer, like just not feeling it. And I've shifted my whole like Christmas to the beginning, after beyond the first week of January, I hadn't had a lot of beer. I'd shifted a lot of my, anytime I was out drinking, it would be like a cocktail or bourbon. And when I was in California, I really didn't look at any beer other than Cali Creamin'. It was all whiskey and bourbon that I was there looking at. It's just I think you get burned out. But man, this beer like brings me right back into it. Boy, oh boy, this beer is very good. I got to be careful not to overrate it because of how good this beer is in comparison to how I was feeling about it. And this isn't a knock on other beers. We had good beers in the month of December. It's just we had so much of it that I wasn't looking forward to it. And now that I've had this beer, I'm like, wow, this is kind of a game changer in my attitude towards beer. Man, this beer is very good. Now, it's great in the sour category. I think the strawberry is barely there. What this beer really is, I would say it has more of a melon sort of flavor and a very sour, feel. It hits you in the cheeks, and it is amazing. But it does taste more melony and I guess maybe the star fruit, if you want to go there, kind of has that like seedy, juicy, like kiwi-like texture on the tongue, like not the pulp or anything, but just kind of how like when you eat a kiwi, it's very juicy, and it has it kind of tilts its flavor towards a melon more than a berry fruit like a strawberry. I don't get that strawberry part from here, but that is not a problem. This beer is exceptional. It's exceptional. It's very good. It's sour. It's perfectly sour. Smell wise, maybe there's some strawberry in the smell, or at least a berry, like a berry type, not raspberry, more of just like a wild berry kind of flavor. If you sugared this beer up, not the taste, but the smell would be like really like Captain Crunch. Oops, all berries. It's pretty close to that. This is a very, man. This actually. You could take the same recipe of this beer and add some like sugar, some milk sugar, and probably get a Captain Crunch beer out of this. This is actually, that smell is like spot on cereal. It's crazy. It's just you could even smell that it's not sweet enough, but it's sour. Wow, incredible! I'm just shocked by how surprising this beer is, and it is. What it is it's this brewery. It is. Sometimes you just need to be reminded of the things that you do love in this, in beer. And Nowhere in Particular is a brewery that got me into craft beer, and it is a brewery that has consistently kept me in craft beer. So I have an affinity for it. Man, this is a very good beer. I guess I'm going to rate this beer. I got to be careful not to overrate it. There's some floaties in there, which is really nice. Man, let me see in the light. Oh yeah, there's definitely some floaties in there. Wow, that's a lot of floaties. Damn. I didn't even expect that. That's probably where a lot of that scent comes from. From those floaties. Oh yeah. This beer is very good. Okay. Maybe that's like the strawberry seeds or something, because now I'm getting a little bit of strawberry. Still not a lot, but more now that I've swirled it around. Wow, this beer is getting better as I drink it. Man, what do I give this beer? I think that it's too. I think there's just something missing for it to be a 5. There's an element, like maybe more strawberry. You can tell that's in there now. So I can't say you got to put more strawberry in just to get some flavor. Now I get a little bit of it. But as far as what this beer could taste like, man, it's hard to beat. But it's a 4.75 for sure, because you could make this the same sourness, exceptional. Just add a little bit more strawberry and give it that identity. Give it the identity that is expected from the can. Other than that, this beer is just, I mean, it's so well made. It's perfect. Almost perfect. It's not quite perfect. And that's just, if you just said this was a Starfruit sour, actually, it might get a 5. It'd be pretty close. But the promise of strawberry makes it a little difficult. So let's just end it there before I use any content that Matt and I are going to cover together. This is episode... Oh, well, you know what? One thing I do want to mention. If you're watching this relatively soon from when I post it, which is January 9th, I am going to play at Blind Bob's. I'm playing drums with my band, New Type of Truth, on the 13th. So come out to Blind Bob's and watch me play drums. It'll be awesome. That's it. Episode 100. I always do that. 261. I had the numbers like flipped. I almost said 162. It's 261. Episode 261. That's it. Thanks for watching.